Hi guys, there was another question from section 2.8, problem number 81. So we're given the two functions, f of x is 2 over x, g of x is x plus 1. They want us to find the composition. Don't forget I mentioned in our last video from this section that I'm just going to ask for composition right now. I'm not going to worry about their domain. They do get a little bit technical here, so just make sure at this stage you can find their, you can compute them, okay? Don't worry too much about their domain. Now if you do have question and you need more math, in your future, you don't understand how to find their domain, just send me a personal message and I'll try to help you understand it, okay? But most people who don't need more math usually don't have to worry about domain of composition. So just make sure you can compute it right now. So remember, definition, of course, is f of g of x. That's the step number one. Always remember, definition of f composed with g of x is f of g of x. So as I mentioned before, you always start from the inside function, which is g, and then you replace it with what g equals in your example. In our example, g of x happened to be x plus 1. And the last step is, of course, to find f of x plus 1. Remember, this is your f of x. So whatever x is, which is, of course, what's inside the parentheses, you replace your x on the right with that. So our x in this case is x plus 1. So we're going to replace that x with x plus 1. And that's it. And that, again, of course, as just to mention, in this case, domain would be everything except -1. Remember, because -1 plus 1 becomes 0. So the whole concept of domain means what makes the function make sense, right? So since our function is 2 over x plus 1, of course, division by 0 makes no sense. So domain would be all numbers except -1. But anyway, right now, don't worry too much about the domain part. Make sure you can compute it, okay? So there is your f composed with g of x. Now, the other one, part b, of course, is just the opposite order. So let me just show you part B. So in part B, looking for this, using the same two functions, we want to know what is G composed with F instead of F composed with G. Okay, so now we're looking for G composed with F of X. And again, as definition goes, that is G of F of X. This time the inside function is F, so we replace it with what F is in this example, which happened to be, of course, 2 over X. And again, the last question is what is g of 2 over x? Of course, this is g of x. For any x, g of x is x plus 1. Your x, of course, is now 2 over x. So we're just going to replace this x with 2 over x, which is what our x is. So 2 over x plus 1. He doesn't go any further. Actually, you could add them. But since the book stops here, I guess for now, I'm not going to bore you with more simplification. So this is fun, but I'm sure, as you can see, you could combine them to a single fraction. And I'm sure all of you know how to add those two fractions. But for now, I'm just going to leave it there because that's where he stops, okay? So anyway, I hope that helps.